Hey everybody, my name is Kyle Kozer, and I'm going to be talking to you today about my art connections for my sophomore research project, Brophy College Prep. And the poet that I chose for my project is Billy Collins. He's probably one of the more famous poets of the modern age. He's been elected the Poet Laureate, the U.S. Poet Laureate twice, actually, which is kind of a big deal. It's basically like the president of poetry in the United States. So that's impressive. He's got a lot of other awards too. And he's really popular, especially among young people, because his poetry is funny and people can relate to it. And a lot of, especially teenagers and things, think of poetry as this serious, emotional type of thing, and he shows them that it can be fun and interesting. And it helps him draw in new high school young people crowds and just make him really popular. And so, well, after quite a while of analyzing and reading a lot of his poetry, I came up with my literary thread was that Billy Collins uses themes of familiarity in his poetry to help draw the readers in. Now, that theme of familiarity can be anything. It could be a common life experience, a situation, a worry, a fear, an emotion. Really anything that a lot of people go through, and it just helps people to relate to his poetry and to understand it and like it, frankly. And when I was doing this, I realized that there were a lot of other art and artists that do the exact same thing. And one of the ones that I thought that was really good was the comedian Demetri Martin. Demetri's pretty big on Comedy Central. He's very popular, very funny. And he's really funny because his jokes are things that people can relate to. A lot of his jokes are just one-line things, and they're funny because people can relate to them and they understand them, but then at the same time, they're out of the box. They're completely unexpected. And it's just, you can see that in like things. His jokes can be about really random things, batteries, carrots. There's so many things that you would never ever think of, but at the same time you can relate to them. So when he talks about it, it's funny because you understand and it's something that you can relate to. And that makes him really popular and really interesting to listen to. And it's really helped his comedy spread, and he's become a lot bigger of a comedy star, a lot more known across the world because people understand his comedy, and that's what makes him funny. And another very, very, very famous art that does the same theme is the TV show Friends. You know, really popular sitcom, went on for 10 years, 1994 to 2004. Just about everybody knows what Friends is. Everybody's seen an episode or all the episodes, and everyone knows what it is. It's totally famous, and it too follows that same theme of familiarity, but in a slightly different way. At the same time, the show originally became popular, when you think about it, because people can relate to the show. They can relate to the drama that goes on in the show, and they can say, oh, I want friends like that in my life. And they understand what's going on, and they can be going through the same thing, and they can say, oh, look, this is what happened to them, maybe that'll happen to me too. And it helps them get through their life. But then at the same time, it helps people relate to each other, because such a unifying TV show as the show Friends, which everyone has seen, it provides a common ground for all people to kind of talk about and discuss, and it just allows them to communicate better because they have this common ground, common knowledge thing that they can use to relate to each other, and it just helps create this familiarity. And that was really the draw of Friends. And I hope you guys can just see that the theme of familiarity is not just in Billy Collins' poetry, but it's in a lot of arts, especially Demetri Martin and Friends. Thanks, guys. Bye.